Hey! Okay, so I said there was only going to be one poem today. I was mistaken. I decided, uh, now I could be wrong, so we may find out later that I was wrong. When I'm reading these poems, know that I haven't like rehearsed them. I'm just pretty much reading them cold. So there is a poem called Lenore, and if I'm not mistaken, Lenore is mentioned in The Raven. And so when I saw that there was a poem called Lenore, I'm like, okay, I have to read this poem first. And it doesn't seem very long, so I'm sorry if this is going to be a little bit longer of a video, but hopefully you enjoy it. Lenore was published in 1845. Ah, broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell toll. A saintly soul floats on the Stygian river. And Guy d'Hiver, hast thou no tear? Weep now or nevermore. See, on yon dear and rigid bier, low lies thy love, Lenore. Come, let the burial rite be read, the funeral song be sung, an anthem for the queenliest dead that ever died so young. A dirge for her, the doubly dead, in that she died so young. Wretches! Ye loved her for her wealth, and ye hated her for her pride, and when she fell in feeble health, ye blessed her that she died. How shall the ritual then be read, the requiem how be sung? By you, by yours, the evil eye, by yours, the slanderous tongue. Thou did to death the innocent that died, and died so young. Peccavimus, yet rave not thus, but let a Sabbath song go up to God so solemnly the dead may feel no wrong. The sweet Lenore hath gone before, with hope that flew beside, leaving thee wild from the dear child that should have been thy bride. For her, the fair and debonair, that now so lowly lies, the life upon her yellow hair, but not within her eyes. The life still there upon her hair, the death upon her eyes. Avaunt, avaunt, from fiends below, the indignant ghost is riven from hell unto a high estate far up within the heaven. From grief and groan to a golden throne beside the King of heaven. Let no bell toll then, let her soul, amid its hallowed mirth, should catch the note as it doth float up from this damned earth. And I, tonight my heart is light, no dirge will I upraise, for waft the angel on her flight with a paean of old days. So, that was Lenore. And I'm sorry, the word is not paean. I do not know how to say it. And every time I'm in the middle of reading it, I'm like, I just end up saying it wrong. So, The Raven, published in 1845. This is just, I'm going to take a drink for this one. This is a long one. And make a huge mess of myself. Alright. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I wandered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this, and nothing more." As distinctly I remember it, was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden from the angel's name, Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the sulken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now To still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor, entertaining entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming, dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there was spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" This I whispered, an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely this is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what the threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but the mien of lord or lady, perched upon my chamber door, perched upon the bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird begulling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Through thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that only word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broke by reply so aptly spoke. "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs once burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore." But the raven still begulling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what was this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking "Nevermore." This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloated o'er she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from the memory of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forgot his lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempest sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate ye all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word or sign in parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked up starting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plumes as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take the beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the light lamp o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Okay, well, that is the end of October. And I hope you've enjoyed these readings. I hope they encourage you to read more poems, not just of Edgar Allan Poe, but of many other poets long gone who left a piece of their life, their challenges, their journeys, and their interesting perspectives for us to be able to look at and remember. And so ring the bell, subscribe. We're getting back to, as October ends, there's the short stories that are in the later part of the week, as long as we're in the month of October. And then as we go into November, we're going to finish my April Fools in Love final chapter. Some people said probably finally. And thank you for your patience and waiting. And who knows what other more exciting things we have for the months to come. So until then, bye.